So my primary school best friend set me up on a blind date. She told me that there was a guy that she works with that was perfect for me. He was cute, Muslim, and he didn't drink. So she knew what was important to me, that halal to haram ratio. For those of you who don't know what that is, the literal translation of halal is permissible and haram impermissible. So in relationship terms, that means someone who is on the same level of the deen, religion. In my case, that meant someone who would get a Philly instead of a Big Mac. Someone who would maybe go out to the club with me but wouldn't drink because, haram. Or someone who wouldn't shame me for missing a prayer because they missed one too. So you make a gentle plan to remind each other in an encouraging yet shameless way. Aww. So when my friend was selling this blind date to me, I begged her to just throw a party, invite us both. That way, if it went sideways, I could easily slip away instead of faking an awful phone call about a family emergency. But alas, she said, "Suck it up, you're single as fuck." She wasn't wrong. A bit rude, but not wrong. So I met him in this Starbucks in the city world of Silverburn. I even told my mum about the date. Naturally, she asked to see a picture of him, completely missing the point of a blind date. I also told a few friends, asked them for some fashion advice, as you do, because this was my first proper date. We're a generation that don't really do dating. We do the talking stage, and sometimes that can lead to dating. Or it lasts like a month, or it doesn't end at all, and you end up in a situationship if you don't get ghosted first. So this date was a total gamble for me. So I picked out a nice outfit that was seasonally appropriate. The jacket I wore he still remembers from the first day that we met. Aww. And it was a bit obnoxious. Very pink, very fluffy, but I thought you may as well know how extra I am from the get-go. I'll be honest, I don't think I remember what he was wearing. I was just so nervous about being on a blind date with a complete stranger. Remember, we skipped this talking stage, situationship, and ghosting him was no longer an option. It gave me a newfound appreciation for the talking stage. So I was nervous about that, and I was nervous about being seen by someone who was going to go grass me up to my mum. Joke's on them though, I already told my mum. So had that date not gone so well, I was planning to just pack it in and apply to Love Island. Not even a joke, I was this close. I weighed up all the risks. The chance of finding true love with the possibility of fame and fortune, and being disowned by your parents in the process. It's a modern day fairy tale. Jokes aside though, we South Asians are automatically entered into our own version of Love Island as soon as we reach a marriageable age. Love Island, The Hunger Games, it's one and the same really. That race to find someone and settle down. It's almost exactly like being in the villa. Except instead of a villa, it's usually someone else's wedding. Just to set the mood for you, this could be you one day. It's part of the set. And while you're looking for a love interest of your own, their mother is scouting you. So if you've ever been to an Asian wedding and a lady starts asking you about what you do, who your family are, and if you're attending alone, she is checking off that mental checklist in her head for her own child. I am so sorry. I once had a lady start chatting to me at a wedding, taking a proper interest in me, praising my manner and my character because I am such a delight. She starts asking me what I do, who my family are, and if I'm single. She starts showing me pictures of her son. He's buff. He works out, she tells me. He's a good-looking guy. A wee bit too good-looking to still be single. The sheer disappointment when I told her that I was already spoken for did wonders for my ego. She then asks me if I've got any single friends who might be suitable. She needs someone who can keep him in check. She wants him gone. She wants him out the house. And there it is. That little red flag. Eligible bachelor in his 30s with no ambition to move out of his parents' home. I didn't know how to tell her, but Auntie, If you don't want your son, what makes you think any of us do? Thank God that blind date went well, eh? So we got married between lockdowns, and for context on what the restrictions were like at the time, our guest list, the original one, had 350 people on it. But at the ceremony, we were only allowed 20, and that included us, the bride and the groom. Aww. So we did the thing, we got married, moved in together, took our time kitting out our wee flat, the absolute joy when IKEA reopened. Even in a pandemic, our favourite Scandi furniture store is providing families with a wholesome and fun day out. There was literally nothing else to do at this stage in the pandemic. And I do love a good IKEA trip, to be fair, so it was well worth that half-hour wait in the rain. It's just such an adventure, playing house with all the different variations of bedroom and living design, a short break for some reasonably priced vegan meatballs, before the mad rush in the warehouse with those really fun flat trolleys, rushing around to find all the right boxes for your matching cabinetry that you try and make a wee bit more unique with maybe the door placement, and maybe you don't get the handles from IKEA because they're just a little bit generic. Only to realise once you've gotten home that you're missing one crucial screw. So you'd rummage through that miscellaneous junk box that you've got lying around, because forget going all the way back to IKEA for one piece. You find one that kind of does the job. It's a wee bit ugly, so you stick it at the back where no one else is going to see it, only to find that missing piece at the end of it all when you've done all the cleanup. I feel like building furniture is the real relationship test. Forget those online compatibility tests. Go build an entertainment unit. If you can safely build an entertainment unit with your other half, then you guys are solid. The furniture might not be, but that's what you get for going to IKEA. The pandemic is really out here making or breaking couples, whole families even, being forced together 24/7. So imagine how that went for a newly married couple, living together for the first time, learning each other's quirks, what makes the other tick, like squeezing out the toothpaste from the top of the tube and leaving all the product at the bottom, or leaving the wet spoon on the countertop after you've taken the tea bag out, opening up a new tub of butter and just stabbing it in the middle instead of working at one edge. Proper weirdo behaviour, that. Imagine stabbing it right in the middle when you could work your way in neatly from one side. Okay, maybe I'm the weirdo. And my husband doesn't leave his towel on the floor or the toilet seat up, so that's a win at least. And I'm sure I've got plenty of quirks of my own. You know when you're young and you've got your nice bedroom all set out, bed, wardrobe, desk, chair. And that chair plays home to all your clothes when you're looking for an outfit, or when you can't be bothered putting your clean laundry away, and you tell yourself that when I'm a grown-up and I've got my own place, my future bedroom's not going to look like this. If anyone's got any tips on how to progress to that stage, please see me after this set. I'm sure my husband would really appreciate it. Seriously though, who decided it was a great idea to have two grown adults move into one shared bedroom with one shared wardrobe space? I had 3 wardrobes at home. I know that sounds excessive, but they were all very valid and very needed. One for casual clothes, one for formal clothes, and an entire wardrobe dedicated to Asian clothes. Yes, they're an entity of their own. They need the space. So aside from our little wardrobe debacle and some very little petty nuances, our first year of marriage was pretty sweet. We got to spend so much more time together than we ever expected. Our open plan kitchen and living space became very multifunctional. It was our living area, cooking area, eating area, workspace, creative area, nap area, home cinema, workout space. You get the picture. We made the best of it though. Settled into a wee routine, worked during the day, cooking together in the evening, and then settling down with a cuppa and the telly. The pandemic really sped up the dynamics of our relationship. That newlywed stage flew by. Instead, we became creatures of habit with a routine not to be disturbed, aka an old married couple. I'm really looking forward to our post-pandemic adventures, making the most of lost time, more working in person, socialising in person, and finally getting away from the UK. We weren't allowed to fly anywhere, so we ended up mini-mooning in Edinburgh. Yep, our excursions included a trip to SeaWorld, and a very grim climb of Arthur's Seat. So I am buzzing to get away and find out what kind of couple we are when we travel.